Okay, folks, I'm over here at the lake and I want to continue these points that I was talking about. It was getting to be too much in the woods, so I actually filmed myself walking back for my Adirondack Ant channel. I'm trying to include footage for both channels. But this is important here. It's what we were talking about is for people that are new to low carb to watch out for 10 mental traps. And we went over the all or nothing thinking. So number 2 is emotional attachment to food, the mental traps behind it. Now, I know we all know this, but we'll go over it again. All of us that have been around for a while, the new people might not know some of this, so this is mostly for them. And a reminder, folks, to the rest of us. Trying to give you the view in the background. I'm going to be doing a full tour of this park from my Adirondack Ant channel. So if you want to see it, you could watch that. But this channel is focusing on our health. So one of the mental traps, emotional attachment traps, is comfort seeking. And I know we all know this. You know, food is comfort. Whether you're in a good mood or bad mood, it doesn't matter what. If you're out having a social gathering, it doesn't matter what, folks. Food can be comforting. And we're so used to that we don't know how to replace it. You know, it's just a mindset. I'm just gonna walk back and forth because this area that I'm in right now I don't have access to walk very far. So that's one thing, the comfort seeking. We're seeking comfort with food. Even if we're just home and not doing anything, it's comfort because we're alone or, we're upset or whatever the case may be. That's a trap. Be aware of those things when you start thinking about food. Are you feeling something like that? If so, when you're aware of it, you might be able to stop that. Realize what it is. You're not hungry. You're just using it as comfort. Another one is reward conditioning, which we've done all our life. Oh, I worked all week and it's Friday night. I deserve to have anything I want right now. How many times I've done that, folks? Too many times. A reward, and I end up feeling sick and inflamed and in pain. That's some reward, isn't it? So be aware of that one as well. Childhood programming. We've been conditioned since we were kids. Eat all your food. This is good for you. You have to eat. You're not going to get your dessert unless you eat all your dinner. We've been conditioned. You need your food to go strong and big. Now, yeah, there's some truth to that, but it's got to be the right type of food. And I'm not saying that all of our parents fed us the wrong thing. But kids are known for wanting the sweets and everything. Somebody commented about that, about how a kid, if you put some ice cream or some cake in front of them, how happy they get. I like that comment she sent me because I didn't think about that. That's true. Children just light up when there's something good in front of them. And another one is the avoidance of your emotions. Now, we talked about how food can dull your senses. I know it did mine. My spirituality and everything was starting to suffer because of, I'm going to walk around here. I think I look like an idiot just going back and forth. But I'm getting some more walking in. And when I do my other channel, I'll be getting even more walking in. But, you know, if all of your energy and cells and everything is going to digest a bunch of food that you ate, it dulls your senses. You know, it numbs you. And that really happens. I believe that. That really happens. So be aware of that one as well. Boredom. Boredom is something that really makes you want to eat. What if you're home and sitting in your chair, what better way to enjoy yourself and have a bunch of snacks and food to eat for the evening? It was a ritual for me. I knew exactly what I wanted to buy. I knew exactly what was going to happen that night. You know, it was a ritual. My potato chips and dip, my Chinese food, snacks, my ring dings. It was a ritual for me, folks. And it cured my boredom for a while until I was sick and miserable. Well, I started out sick and miserable, so it's no surprise. Another one is identity ties. We all, this is where you check into the beach. I'm going to do a tour on another video. I want to keep focused on this. Identity ties, you know, you think that's who you are. You're a person that likes to eat. You're a person that maybe likes to cook wonderful meals. Maybe you have a family that you love cooking for, you know, and you don't want to stop doing that. That's your identity. You know, that's what makes you happy. And honestly, I know that has to be tough, folks. I know it has to be tough. But, gotta be a way around that. It really has to be. But I do think that if you're eating the right foods, and you're content once you get to that point, not when you're first starting out, but if you're content and you're not feeling hungry, you can stay away from that food. You know, I don't get, when you get into ketosis, you're not having those cravings, even if it's right in front of you. But I know newcomers, new people that are starting this don't realize that. You can just hang in there until you get out of the carbs and take however long it takes for you to reach that point. You can do it, folks. And then, of course, we have fear of deprivation. And now, you know, I'm sure I've thought that too in the past. You know, I better eat. I might not be able to get anything later. Yeah, I know I've done that all the time, especially with my low blood sugar problems, with my diabetes. I better put this food in my stomach, otherwise I'm going to have a low sugar episode, or I'm going to be sick. I did that a lot, but I do think you need to carry something around if you have the possibility of that happening when you're out and about and you don't have access to sugar. Now, all these things, you know, I always say you should, especially with your diabetes or some health problems, go along with your doctor and work with your doctor to lower your medicine as you're reducing your carbs, because it could be catastrophic. You know, you have to do that. You have to do it that way, folks. Okay, so number 3 is unrealistic expectations, which, again, I'm famous for. You know, I want it to happen overnight. I'm not being realistic when I think like that. Even now, I didn't lose any weight this week. My scale is still saying 17 pounds. I haven't been bad, but, you know, I wish I could have went down some more this week again, but it didn't happen. And I'm told, and people are telling me and reminding me that that scale's not going to budge. If, next time I'm going to bring a chair, folks. That scale is not going to budge if when you're dieting, it's working on your healing, like your healing of your liver or your kidneys. And that kind of makes sense to me. And I'm sticking with that. So, there's reasons, folks. As long as you know you're doing the right thing and you're headed in the right direction, we can't worry too much about a scale. Another thing, we can't compare ourselves to others. You know, if someone else you know is losing it at a faster pace, we shouldn't be comparing ourselves to that person. You know, because everybody is so different. They might be on a different type of diet. You know, they might have a different kind of metabolism. You know, they might not have certain medical issues that you have. You know, and I know we see a lot of before and after pictures on social media, and we don't really know all of the details that went into the success. And they're inspiring, and I love those before and after videos, and I give them all the credit in the world. But folks, you can't compare yourself to anybody because we're all so different, and go at your pace. You know, however long that takes. I have to remember that too. And don't have magical thinking. Magical thinking is the same as that quick fix thinking. It doesn't always happen quickly like that, folks. And you know what? You don't even want it to. Because really, the slower you go, the more your skin and everything has a chance to go back into place without a bunch of flab. That's the way I look at it. I could be wrong. But they say not to lose more than 2 pounds a week anyway. So, there's no magic in it, folks. It's just a change of your lifestyle. And do it slowly and gradually. Get into the habit of eating and even the exercise. I'm starting to love the exercise and getting out here. It was hard at first, and it still is a little hard. But it's getting so much better. It's starting to get hot out here. And then you have your low frustration tolerance, which you give up too easy. I could write a book on that. I usually make it up to the second week, and the third week has always been so hard for me. Somebody actually mentioned that recently, that they're having trouble getting through the third week. Don't I know how that goes? Because you put 2 weeks into it, you're doing good, and that third week, even when I quit smoking, that was the case. That third week was always the hardest because, you know, I don't know, you have 2 weeks of success, and then it hits you in the face that, oh my God, I got to do this for the rest of my life, and I don't know, but be aware of that, folks. And don't put that self-pressure on yourself to do it faster. Do it at a comfortable pace. Sorry, folks. Okay, number 4 is negative self-talk. And you know, I got that. I would imagine a lot of us do. We got to change that. I made a video on that. Change that negative self-talk to positive talks. Say it out loud. one change in a week is all you could do. Concentrate on that success. No, don't concentrate on the negative. Don't think, oh, I only did one. Say, I did one thing. I gave one thing up this week. Think of it like that. The old failures loop, like we were just talking. How many times we failed, and it just goes around and around and around, and we think it's just going to happen again. We have to try to forget that. We have to, like I said, think very positive. And, you know, what happened in the past is not today. So, low self-esteem, folks. I know I've had it for years with that weight that I was carrying. Hard to feel positive about anything when you're trying to carry around 70 extra pounds up and down off the chair, in and out of the stores. I stopped going to a lot of stores. I had to order things because I couldn't make it. It was a low self-esteem. You know, you think people are looking at you, talking about you, thinking you're lazy. It doesn't make you feel good. So when you start thinking like that, realize that's just part of who you were. You were becoming something else. And one little step will change your mindset on that. It'll give you so much positivity and so much confidence just by making one little change. It's amazing. I know it helped me right from the beginning. You know, a couple of things I gave up. Took 2 days for me to start feeling better. Start getting rid of the inflammation and thinking better. The imposter syndrome, which is the same as others can do it, but you can't, like we were just saying. Don't compare, folks. Don't compare. The catastrophic thinking, a slip means that it's all over. Don't think like that. That's not true. It's not true, folks. Think positive. Self-sabotage. When we think it, it happens. Negative thinking, you know, that's the law of attraction effect. See yourself as the person that you want to be, folks, not the person you were. Start trying to visualize that. Visualization is such a powerful tool. And I really do believe in that law of attraction. What you think does materialize. And identity crisis. You're going to always see yourself as an unhealthy woman. That's ingrained in us if we were unhealthy for so long. You know, and all these points I talk about with confidence, telling you what you got to do. I have the same problems, folks, and I'm working on it. I have these same issues and I'm working on it. And that's all we could do, is do it one day at a time and work on it. Try to be positive. And eventually, we're going to become that person, you know, and we're going to hold our head up high and we're going to be proud of ourselves, you know, and having the help from each other on this community is, I can't even tell you how much that's helped me. Maybe I wouldn't have come this far if I didn't have all the help from all of you. And God helps too. We never forget about God helping. Now, number 5 is when comparing yourself to others. But this goes a little deeper. It's jealousy disguised as self-doubt. You know, feeling like you're falling behind about others, falling behind in relationship to others. And you're jealous that they're succeeding and you're not. That basically goes back to what I was just saying. And having or needing external validation. No, we don't need that, folks. Our validation comes from ourselves. Yes, it's nice to hear somebody tell you, oh, you look like you're losing weight, your face is getting thinner. I love it. And that's all good, healthy, I believe. You know, that is a healthy validation, I guess you would say. I think it is. I could be wrong. You know, I don't live for it. You know, it's not going to make me have a bad day because somebody in the morning didn't say, oh, you look like you're losing weight, but I do appreciate every time I hear it or all the support. That's validation for me to keep going with this channel. But I can't put my life into that and make that the only thing that'll make me happy, because that's self-sabotage. You got to live for yourself and do what's right for yourself and give yourself the credit that you deserve and the positive talk to yourself that you deserve. And then we have selective perception, which means you only hear what you really want to hear. You know the old joke that the husband has selective perception. I'm not blaming it on the husbands. It might be vice versa. But folks, we're getting pretty long into this video. I'm gonna say goodbye. I need to rest for quite a while before I do that video for my other channel, but I am so glad I got to go over all these points with you, because I do think they're important, especially to the newcomers. Now, we're all rooting for you new guys. You know, you have a community here that, like I always say, the most loving community. And any question or any support, we're all there for you, folks. You could do it. You know, you got this. You know, some of us have lost so much weight and have succeeded for years. And if any questions or anything, there'll be people that will chime in and tell you exactly how it is. Now, I know I don't have all the experience in the world, and I'm new at it myself. But there's people in this community, they'll help you. They'll say the right thing to you, and they'll tell you. They've straightened me out at times. They even corrected Laura, when I made that video about dopamine. I was sitting on my front porch, and she's been a long time subscriber. I love her. But she said, I'm a retired RN, and I think it's called dopamine. Thank you for that. I was pronouncing that wrong all my life, folks. And that's what we need to do for each other. Correct each other when we're wrong, you know? Knowledge and learning and having that help means everything. Folks, I'm going to say goodbye, and I'm going to see you in the next one. I'm going to make that Cane Mountain hike pretty soon, so I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys are too. Love you guys. Bye.